Would you text a friend the same way you write an academic essay? Of course not. Today, you will learn the difference between spoken and written English. The goal for today is to understand the key differences between how we speak English and how we write an essay. Okay? So we will explore the importance of each form in communication and learn why it is important for you as a college student to learn the distinctive features of academic writing. So let's begin. All right? Okay. So definition of spoken English is how we speak. When we speak, we don't use full form of things. We contract, we drop things, right? I'm going to becomes I'm gonna go. I am going to, I'm gonna go. But we don't write an essay, I'm gonna go, right? Written English uses language in written forms and complete forms, especially in academic writing. If you're writing a novel, then you can, of course, include spoken English. The characters will speak a certain way, but not in an academic essay, because essays are more structured. They're more formal. Okay? All right. So let's look at some differences between spoken and written English. Spoken English is informal, it's conversational, right? What's up? Hey, how's it going? What's going on? It relies on body language and tone, but remember, when you write, the reader cannot see your body language. They depend on the text, the words in print. Spoken English is often unplanned and spontaneous. People just say things right off the top of their head. Sentences are shorter. I'm going to go, okay, what are you going to do? Are you hungry? Simpler vocabulary so people understand. But written English is, as we just said, formal, structured, and it relies on grammar and punctuation. And that is why the professor can take some points off for bad grammar or, wrong spelling. Written English is carefully thought out. It's revised. It's written multiple times. And the sentences are more complex than spoken English. Okay, very good. So let's look at some vocabulary and word choice that we, make. In spoken English, we use contractions. Right? I can't do that. I can't do that. I'll, rather than saying I will. But in written English, vocabulary is more formal, right? The sentence structures are complex. Wording is very specific and precise. Okay, grammar. What about grammar? In spoken English, people really don't follow the rules of traditional grammar. Sentences are incomplete, and we use fillers all the time, like, I was going to say, well, we do this in spoken English, but in written English, when we write, we follow grammar rules, right? We don't use fillers in writing. Again, the context is academic writing. Of course, you could use fillers if you're writing a novel, it's fiction, a short story. All right. Okay. I just gave you some examples. I think this idea is good, but it needs more work. Okay, so that is how people speak. But in writing, if you're writing an academic essay, I believe this idea has potential, but it requires further development. Notice the contrast in word choice, right? And grammar. See how distinct the two different forms are, spoken and written. Okay, tone. In spoken English, tone of voice conveys emotions. It's very easy. If somebody's angry, you can tell by their tone, or even their body language. But written English is harder to detect tone because it's conveyed through word choice and punctuation. Emotions are expressed through very descriptive language, using lots of adjectives. Correct? Okay. Speed and delivery. When people speak, they speak very fast. They speak so fast, and especially for you, a student who's learning English as a second language, it's hard for you. You could say, could you please speak slowly? You're speaking too fast. I don't understand what you're saying. And in spoken English, you can ask for clarification. You say, I don't understand. Can you say that again? I'm still confused. I'm not sure if I'm following you. Can you give me an example? People give you an example. You say, oh, okay, now I understand. But in written English, right, there is no feedback. You cannot say to the writer, excuse me, I beg your pardon. I don't understand, say it again. It's done. It's one-way communication, right? So there's no feedback or response from the writer. Yeah? Okay. Very good. Let's do one exercise. Read the following sentences and you tell me if they're spoken or written English. Hey, could you pass me that thing? Please pass the required materials to your colleague. Well, I was thinking maybe we should go for lunch. The meeting will be held at noon in the conference room. All right, which sentences are spoken and which ones are written? Can you tell? Okay, the first one is spoken, the second one is written, the third is spoken, and the last one is again written English. I think you got the answers correct, right? Because it's not that hard. See, hey, could you pass me that thing? We don't write that way, do we? Okay, so what are the challenges in switching between spoken and written? So you've been speaking English and now you have to write a paper for your professor. So you got to change the tone, you got to change the wording, vocabulary, grammar, from informal to formal written language, right? And when you write, you have to learn, how do I express my thoughts and ideas, my emotions, my feelings, right? In a clear, structured manner, and understand the context of each type of communication. Okay, so far so good. Well, let's try 3 multiple choice questions. Which is more formal, spoken English, written English, or both? Spoken English often includes complete sentences, simple words, detailed descriptions. Written English is less structured, more structured, fast-paced. All right, let's take this mini quiz real quick. It will take you just a few seconds, and then we will move on. All right, would you like to see the answers now? Okay. Obviously, written English is more formal than spoken, and spoken English uses simple words, and written English is more structured. But you knew that, right? Very good. Okay, moving on. Using spoken English in written communication. When we write, not necessarily only academic essays, but when we write, we text somebody, or email someone, or we're writing a blog post, right? We do use casual language, spoken language, but you have to just avoid sounding overly informal or unprofessional. If you are emailing your professor, for example, I get emails from my students, and sometimes they would say, hey, professor. So that's very inappropriate, right? Because the context is formal. You're emailing your professor, so you must adhere to the conventions of academic writing. Okay, when to use? One, presentations, lectures, speeches, formal meetings or interviews. But even in a formal situation, your job is to not sound too stiff, right? Too unnatural. Okay. Tips for mastering both forms. Now, you do have to master both. You're learning English. You want to be able to speak English well and sound natural, right? Listen to the people around you. Listen to the native English speakers around you. Speak to them, listen to them very carefully, use simple, clear sentences so they understand you. But in written English, you must pay attention to grammar rules, revise and edit your writing, and your goal is to practice clarity. Your ideas must be clear to the reader. So the burden of clarity is upon you. Okay? All right. Okay, let's take a quiz. True or false? There are 4 statements. Read each of them carefully, one by one, and indicate if they are true or false. Okay? All right, so let's complete the quiz, and we'll go over the answers together. Pause the video. Pause the video now and complete the quiz. Okay, 1 is false, 2 is true, 3 is false, and 4 is true. If you are not sure about any of these answers, if you're confused, please write in the comments, ask me. I'll be happy to respond to you. Okay, grammar and tone. We spoke about both grammar and tone, right? That grammar in spoken English, people do not really follow traditional grammar. but grammar is more important in written English, right? Because if the grammar is poor, if the sentences are choppy, then the reader will be lost. The reader will not understand your meaning. Okay? Written English often includes formal vocabulary. Written English has complete sentences, grammatically correct complete sentences with proper punctuation, commas and question marks, semicolons. And in casual conversations and everyday speech, people prefer spoken English, right? Real-time discussions where they have feedback too, back and forth. Okay. Short answer questions. Answer the following questions based on the differences between spoken and foreign English. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. So I'd like you to pause the video, okay, and read the statements and then answer the questions. Ready? Let's start. Match the sentences with their appropriate form, spoken or written. I've got this great idea for the new project. It is recommended that you complete your application before the due date. It was nice meeting you earlier today. Please find attached the required documents for your reference. Can you match them up? Match the sentences and the appropriate form. Is sentence 1 spoken or written? Is sentence 2 spoken or written? And so on and so forth. So 1 is spoken, 2 is written, 3 is spoken, and 4 is also written. Okay. Choose the most appropriate word based on the context of spoken or written English. I just finished the report. The team will definitely attend the seminar next week, and we do not have any more coffee. Right? Those are the answers. Okay. So we've come a long way. We have learned a lot. In this quiz, again, I'm asking you to identify the sentences as informal or formal. I can't believe we completed that project so quickly. Can you confirm if you'll attend the meeting next Tuesday? We should consider visiting that new restaurant. It is essential to finish the assignment by the deadline. Read each sentence and determine if they're formal or informal. Okay, so pause the video now. All right, shall we go over the answers together? Okay, I can't believe we completed the project so quickly. It's formal. And can you confirm if you'll attend the meeting next Tuesday? Is informal. We should consider visiting that new restaurant. That's formal. It's essential to finish the assignment by the deadline. Is informal. So, but none of them, if you noticed, none of them is casual, like casual speech. Okay, correct the errors here. Some of the sentences below are not in the correct form of English. Read, there are 4 sentences. Read them and then correct them to make them more formal or informal as needed. Like, I can't believe we got that project done so fast. How do we make it formal? How do we make it sound academic? Okay, so correct the errors. I think this is a fun exercise for you. You will enjoy doing it. And that way you will learn to distinguish between casual and formal or informal language. Okay, fill in the blanks here. I don't really know. You know what to do next? Is it spoken or written? I'm writing to inform you about the meeting scheduled for Thursday. Spoken or written? Did you see that movie? It was awesome. Spoken or written? The application form must be completed and submitted by the end of the month. Spoken or written? This should be easy for you. If you have gotten this far, you must have learned, by now, the conventions of each form of English, spoken and written. All right, shall we go over the answers? 1 is spoken, 2 is written, 3 is spoken, 4 is written. Okay. All right, one last quiz. Read the sentences, For each sentence, I have given you two choices, the two options, A and B, and I'm asking you to pick one that you think is correct. The weather's been great lately, huh? Is that spoken or written? And the same goes for number 2, 3, and 4. Just pick one of two choices. All right? Okay. So 1 is A, spoken, 2 is B, written, 3 is B, spoken, and 4 is B, written. All right, so this was a long lesson, but it was important. Thank you for staying with me. If you completed the whole lesson, congratulations. Let's just quickly recap the lessons. Spoken and written English, they are different, right? In terms of form, structure, grammar, tone, and pace. Spoken English, people speak fast. Written English, people think, people revise, they rewrite. Spoken English, the tone of voice, you can hear and you can see body language. That's not the case with written English. Spoken English is informal. Written English, tone, how do you convey tone? By using specific words, by vocabulary. Written English is structured, formal, and requires careful attention to grammar and punctuation. You know, a comma that is misplaced can change the meaning completely. And for you as a college student, you must master both forms, because when you speak to the professor, not writing an essay, but you speak to the professor, you need to know how to, speak English, like spoken form. And when you write a paper for your professor, then you have to follow the conventions of academic writing. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Any questions, please write in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.